For the last 24 hours, the Russian military have fired about 18 missiles from the Caspian region. This was reported by the Air Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. 8 regions of Ukraine came under fire. The explosions took place in Lviv. Mayor Andriy Sadovyi said that Russian missiles had damaged 3 power substations. Due to this, there was no electricity in part of the city. A Russian missile also hit one of the railway substations in the settlement of Volovets in Transcarpathia. At the buildings, within a radius of 500 meters, windows were blown out. Rocket wreckage damaged cars nearby. This was reported by Transcarpathian Regional Military Administration. The missile strike destroyed the railway infrastructure in one of the districts of Dnipropetrovsk region. According to the head of Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, Valentin Reznichenko, 1 person was injured. The movement of trains in all directions was suspended. 3 rocket hits were also recorded in Kirovograd region.
2 ракети поцілили в тягову електропідстанцію на залізниці.
2 rockets hit a traction power substation on the railway near Timkove village of DONETSK community. Premises and equipment of the substation were damaged. About 27 tons of transformer oil caught fire. Rescuers managed to localize the flame. There were no casualties. 2 departmental security guards were lightly wounded.
Отримали легкі поранення.
A day ago, the Russian army fired on the center of Kharkiv again. Civilian objects came under fire: shops, garages, and children attractions in the city park. This was announced by the head of Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, Oleg Senegubov. He noted that several fires had broken out as a result of the shelling. 1 local woman was injured. She received shrapnel wounds. Senegubov urged Kharkiv residents to stay in shelters and, even in the absence of air alarms, not to go outside unless absolutely necessary. Russian military continue rocket attacks on Luhansk region. According to the head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Haidai, over the past day, 2 civilians were killed and 2 were injured. 45 houses in the region were damaged. In particular, the fire destroyed Lysychansk tuberculosis dispensary, located in the Belgian Heritage Building. The Belgian architecture ensemble in Lysychansk, having survived 2 world wars, was destroyed by the Russians in the 21st century. The goal of the Russians is a total destruction, Serhiy Haidai wrote on his telegram. In the past 24 hours, the Russian military fired on a coke and chemical plant in Avdiyivka. At least 10 people were killed and 15 others were injured, as reported by Pavlo Kyrylenko, the head of Donetsk Regional Military Administration. According to him, at the time of the shelling, people had finished their work shift and were waiting for a bus at the bus stop. This morning, the Russian military fired on the coke and chemical plant for the 2nd time. Currently, there is no information about the victims, as reported by the head of the Regional Military Administration, Pavlo Kyrylenko. 2 women were killed by Russian occupiers as a result of mass bombings of the Azovstal plant by Russian occupiers for the past 24 hours, as reported by Maxim Zhorin, a former commander of the Azov regiment.
There was a hit. The explosion was terrible. Here's what happened. About 10 people were injured. They have broken arms and legs. The 2 girls, why were they killed? They were going to go home. Here they are lying, in front of you.
Deputy commander of the Azov regiment, Sviatoslav Palamar, stressed the need to evacuate all women, children and the elderly who still remain in the Azovstal bomb shelters.
Триває потужний штурм території заводу Azovstal.
A powerful assault on the territory of the Azovstal plant continues. With the support of armored vehicles, tanks, with attempts to land troops using boats and a large number of infantry, we will do everything possible to repel this assault. But we call for immediate measures to evacuate civilians from the plant and deliver them safely to Zaporizhzhya and Ukraine-controlled territory.
В Запоріжжя та на підконтрольну Україні території. Маріуполь – це Україна.
Ukrainian law enforcement officers have completed the first stage of the investigation into the crimes of the Russian military in Irpin. Prosecutor General Irina Venediktova announced the results of the investigation at a press conference for Ukrainian and foreign media of the past day.
Встановлено 885 повністю зруйнованих об'єктів.
885 completely destroyed objects, 2,738 partially destroyed objects, 8,651 superficially damaged objects were found. That means that 70% of the town have been damaged. During the inspection of the scene, 290 bodies were delivered for forensic examination. 161 men, 73 women, 1 child, and 55 human remains.
73 жінки, 1 дитина та 55 людських останків.
Irina Venediktova stressed that all Russian servicemen will be brought to justice and will be held accountable for the crimes committed. The prosecutor general also noted that the inspection of the territory of Irpin has already been completed.
Ми вважаємо, що ми огляд закінчили.
We believe that the inspection is over, but we expect anything. Either we or any one of the civilians who return can find anything in their basements or in the yards. Therefore, we understand that this process will continue for a very long
Що
time.
цей процес буде тривати дуже довго.
An evacuation convoy with Mariupol residents who escaped the shelling of the Azovstal plant arrived in Zaporizhzhya a day ago. They left on May the 2nd, spent the night near Berdyansk, and continued their movement. According to Irina Vereshchuk, the Minister for Reintegration of the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine, a total of 156 civilians were evacuated. People had spent almost 2 months in the basements of the Azovstal.
Вы не понимаете, как это страшно, когда сидишь в бомбоубежище, в сыром мокром.
You don't understand how scary it is when you sit in a bomb shelter, in a damp, wet basement, and it moves and shakes like this. And then, when we could go out, I saw the sun for the second time in 2 months. When you come out, and there is a funnel, 15 meters in diameter, and I do not know how many meters deep. And so we went to bed every night, wondering if we would survive and wake up. And we might have not woken up at all. And we just prayed to God that the bombs would fly past our bomb shelter.
Могли вообще не проснуться. И только, Господи, пожалуйста, пусть бомбы летят мимо нашего бомбоубежища.
Mariupol City Council reports that several hundred more people and Ukrainian military men remain in the basements of the Azovstal, and they also need to be evacuated. To be honest, at some point we lost hope. We thought that everyone had forgotten about us and that we would not get out of there at all. Many thanks to our servicemen who stayed there. Guys, we are with you. We are ready to do anything to get you out of there because you gave your health, your lives for us. They themselves didn't eat well. They gave us their food, their water. They risked their lives.